Karina here on Thursday, March 29th, and let's get the super creepy scary news out of the way first. They've created human-sheep hybrids. Okay, they're really only 15% human, 85% sheep, and it's not even that 15%. Actually, the sheep, created by researchers at the University of Nevada, have no human features. They're not going to look like people. What they have are human organ cells. The sheep are injected with human stem cells when they're just fetuses, and the hope is that this technique of creating sheep with organs that are half human will lead to animal organs that are transplantable in people. Animal rights activists are, not surprisingly, concerned about the hybridization of animals to then harvest them for organs, and they're also worried about cellular fusion, the possible creation of sheep that would have some human characteristics. I totally wouldn't be able to put her down for the sake of a liver. In other slightly scary stuff, China is getting a little nutty with their approaches to internet addiction. We told you before about clinics for addicts and a boot camp where they have re-socializing activities like laser tag, but apparently some people want to go all last century on the problem and are using electroshock therapy. Okay, so the mild shocks used in a Beijing clinic aren't exactly like some creepy one flew over the cuckoo's nest treatment, but it's still controversial, especially as many of these addicts admitted to the clinics are done so against their will, sent there by their parents quite often. Another slightly worrying aspect of the treatment? Drugs! Says one doc, quote, "We use these medicines to give them happiness, so they no longer need to go on the internet to be happy." Successful move from frying pan into the fire, no? Well, for those who can still healthily use the internet, YouTube is going to launch its mobile website, YouTube To Go, in June in the States, when its exclusivity deal with Verizon runs out. They say they'll have about 800 selected clips to start with, to see how it goes. Here's something funky though. The site will be live in Europe in May. Available in Europe before the States. Awesome, that never happens. Let's see, what else happens in June? There's Father's Day, Summer Solstice, World Environment Day. Oh yes, the iPhone. It's going to launch in the States in June with AT&T's wireless carrier Singular. People are really freaking out about it. Singular recently reported they've already received 1 million calls from people asking to be notified about the iPhone launch and requesting more info about the doodad. And this even though Apple isn't taking pre-orders. That is some fairly intense hype, which will no doubt translate into some fairly intense profits. You know who's probably envious of that kind of hype right now? European PS3 retailers. As we mentioned before, most of the European launches, especially the French one, were disappointing to say the least. Well, for retailers anyways. Some customers were getting mad freebies. But still, it's surprising that only a week after the launch, the PS3 has already suffered its first price drop. Ouch. One British retailer, aria.co.uk, has dropped the price by £25. The retailer claims, however, that this was, quote, an attempt to secure a foothold in the gaming market and not a move to shift excess PS3 stock. Still, doesn't bode well. It's only been a week. Well, the PS3s may not have been flying off the shelves everywhere, but many of the consoles that have been sold are being put to good use. Surprisingly good use. We told you before that for the first time, gamers would be able to connect their PS3s to Stanford's Folding at Home project to contribute their console's computing power to completing the project's massive calculations. Well, it's been a total hit. Over 40,000 consoles have joined up, are contributing over half of the computing power of the project right now, and as MOBA's viewer Richard Bailey tells us, are completing tasks much faster than PCs. According to Engadget, a few thousand more of the 2 million PS3s sold could make Folding at Home the fastest distributed computing project on the planet. Not to be judgmental, but if you have a PS3 and you haven't signed up yet, you're super lame. Period. And in Wikilicious news, Larry Sanger's new and improved version of Wikipedia, Citizendium, is opening up to the public. If you'll remember, Citizendium is the Wikipedia co-founder's attempt to improve upon the Wikipedia concept with an emphasis on expertise and accountability. That means no more anonymity. People will have to use their real names, and this time, credentials count. Sanger has said his goal is, quote, a culture of real-world personal responsibility. And now after 4 months in a pilot stage, it's opening up to everyone. So far, it started 1,100 English articles, has 80 specialized editors, and 800 contributing authors. Still a long way to go to catch up to Wikipedia, of course. That's it for today, but until next time, if you could make an animal hybrid using your own stem cells, what animal would you hybridize yourself with? And is hybridize a word?